Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And another movie that I recently just finished watching was the oddly enough titled 3022, which led me to believe that because it's a science fiction movie that's set in the future, I actually thought that it was about the year 30,022 or 3022. However, it's actually set in the year 2190, and 3022 is the number of days that has passed since the crew joined the space station. Alright, so in this year 2190, there is a space station called the Pangaea, which is the name of the, if I remember my, if I remember my school studies properly, is the name of the continents before they were split. And it's a refueling station for ships that are going from Earth to the first colony, first space colony in Europa, in the planet Europa, which is called Europa 1. So they've decided that every 10 years, they will have a rotation of crews from different countries, and this particular time, the rotating crews are all from a list of 4 American astronauts. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention who are the actors. Omar Epps, you've got Kate Walsh, Miranda Cosgrove, who, if I am not mistaken, is the actress who plays Summer in School of Rock, and she's grown up, by the way. And Angus McFadden. You also have smaller roles by, very surprisingly, Georgia Fox, who I haven't seen since her time on CSI. You also have Edward, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but Edward Gukhaj, I don't know how you pronounce it. He plays mainly, he's known for playing the role of, oh boy, what's his name now? Oh yeah, Agent Sousa in both Agent Carter as well as in the final season of, in the final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let me drink some. Ah, I've got the boobs. So, the 4 astronauts, you see them entering the space station on day 1. So that's day 1 till 3022. Captain John Lane, Engineer Jackie Miller, Dr. Richard Vallon, and Lisa Brown, right? And as the days go by, the years go by, Lane and Miller begin a romantic relationship. Miller's got a daughter who's back on Earth. By the 5th year, however, the 4 of them have started feeling the effects of being isolated away from everybody else. It's just the 4 of them on the space station. So Vallon actually starts declaring them to be unfit to continue, saying, especially because Captain Lane has got nightmares that cause him a lot of anguish, and this is when there's a big explosion, and when they try to contact Earth, they are not getting any responses, and they find a debris field of some asteroids in the area where they were looking for Earth. So this leads Vallon to assume that Earth has been destroyed, and that's the explosion that they felt. However, the other 3 aren't confused. In the explosion, Brown is actually critically injured, and I think she later dies. Although I don't remember in which point, and I even looked at the synopsis, the plot basically, and I don't really know when she actually passed away. And at this time, things start getting a turn for the worse. Vallon goes into a kind of depression, and he basically has decided, or rather his brain is kind of shut down, deciding that there's nothing to look forward to. Miller is obsessed with finding her daughter back on Earth. However, Lane and Vallon are not sure that Earth is actually, Earth still exists. This goes on for a long time until finally Miller tries to use an escape pod to go back to Earth. However, she is brought back by Vallon, and he also tells that there's not enough supplies for them to go back to Earth and return back to Pangaea. So later on, Vallon seems to be completely given up hope, and he ejects himself into space um, with a suit on, but he ejects himself, and Lane is unable to save him, so he just drifts off to die alone. As this is happening, they also discover that just before this happens, they also discover that the oxygen is dwindling on the large space station. So, since it's only the three of them, they had planned to actually uh, do a controlled explosion and break off one half of the space station, so that they can focus the oxygen only in just one area, and thereby you know con- prolong their life. However, this is when Valen actually decides to kill himself. They do run into a small crew from the ISS station. That's where Georgia Fox character comes in. She plays Diane Uris, and Enver Gokaj plays Vincent Bernard, and there's another actor who plays Thomas. Those two are French astronauts, and Georgia Fox comes and her character Diane tells them that there's no point in looking forward to Earth because the explosion that they saw was the Earth that exploding. She confirms this and says that the last transmission that they received from Earth was, I'm just going to read it, what have we done? Do not return, go to Europa. Basically that something has happened drastic, something on a huge large scale and with deadly consequences has happened, and that caused the Earth to be destroyed. So the only remaining survivors are on Europa 1 and of course on these two space stations. We later found out that the French astronauts actually killed off the rest of the French astronauts killed off the rest of the people on the ISS in order to increase their chances of surviving. And they needed the captain to pilot the pod towards them, and that's why they allowed her to come here. Once they settle down, they decide to stage a coup. They kill Diane and try to kill both Lane and Miller. However, they are all separated, and while Miller kills Vincent, Miller kills Thomas, and Lane kills Vincent. They are both separated on two extreme ends of the spaceship, and this causes an explosion, basically separating the two halves of the ship, and it's drifts off into space. However, Lane says he will find her while they're still in communication range, and try to find her when they, he'll say he will keep scanning and looking out for her, and it happens on day 3022, and that's why the movie has a title there. So by that time, on day 322, he has grown older. I don't know exactly how many years that is, but he is also haggard and disheveled, suffering from hallucinations. So the other point is the fact that he sees Miller towards the end. Is that a hallucination as well? And Miller has always kept the hope of finally finding her daughter, another loved one. So he finally understands that it's very important, but you never get to know what happens after that. You just see them both being reunited after all this time apart. Did they manage to get themselves to Europe, or do they die there? Nobody knows. The movie actually ends. So it is a low-budget film, mainly trying to focus on the characters and the story that they've actually kept across in this movie. I did find it a little bit tedious going through especially the parts until the other crew actually come in, because then it kind of speeds up the story process a lot more. But that's about it, and I don't really think I found much entertaining in this particular movie. I am going to say that despite the low cost and they did have some good special effects and setup for such a low budget movie, but overall I'm not really I'm not really fond of it. One of the critics actually said something like this: the sight of astronauts smoking cigarettes nearly 200 years in the future doesn't bode well for anti-smoking campaigns. That isn't much of a big deal. I'm just going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't really that entertained at all. So nothing much actually kept me in, and I'm not really sure this is a movie I'm ever going to watch again. So 6.5 out of 10 for me. Majority of the characters aren't very compelling, neither are the actors as well, for me. Anyway, thank you. That's it for this review of 3022. Have a good night.